Deep in the heart of Russia lies a city where empires rose and fell, where revolutions echoed through the streets, and where the soul of a nation still beats louder than ever. This is Moscow, a city of fire, frost, and fierce pride. Welcome to a journey through centuries, secrets, and splendor, a city forged by time. Moscow's story begins in the year 1147, when a prince named Yuri Dolgoruki invited a friend to come to me, brother, to Moscow. Just a small wooden fortress back then, no one imagined this humble outpost would one day become the heartbeat of an empire. By the late 13th century, Moscow grew rapidly, outpacing other Russian cities, thanks to its location on trade routes and rivers. When the Mongol Empire swept through Russia, Moscow bent, but never broke. Under Ivan I in the 1300s, Moscow became the seat of the Russian Orthodox Church, not just a political power, but a spiritual one. Then came Ivan the Terrible, crowned in Moscow as the first Tsar of all Russia. His reign was as terrifying as it was transformative. Moscow had become more than a city, it was an idea, the Third Rome, the successor of the Roman and Byzantine empires. Fire and rebirth. In 1812, Napoleon's army marched into Moscow expecting surrender. Instead, Muscovites burned their own city to the ground, denying him victory. Moscow was reduced to ashes, but it rose, phoenix-like again. After centuries of fires, plagues, and invasions, Moscow kept rebuilding, each time grander than before. When the Bolsheviks seized power in 1917, the capital was moved back from St. Petersburg to Moscow. A new era began, the Soviet era, when Moscow became the center of a communist superpower. Secrets beneath the streets. Beneath Moscow lies a secret world, a labyrinth of tunnels, bunkers, and subways. Some say there's a hidden metro system, Metro 2, built for the Kremlin during the Cold War. Rumors speak of entire underground cities, command centers ready for nuclear war. And yet, even the public Moscow Metro is a wonder. Stations that look like palaces, with chandeliers, marble columns, and mosaics. Every ride is like stepping through a time portal. Moscow today, a city of contrast. Today, Moscow is a city of contrasts. Golden onion domes rise beside glass skyscrapers. Soviet symbols stand next to luxury boutiques. It is Europe's largest city by population. Over 13 million people, speaking hundreds of languages, carrying centuries of history in their bones. Yet it never stops changing. The spirit of revolution still stirs here, not in politics, but in art, architecture, and ambition. Inside the Kremlin, Russia's timeless fortress, the Moscow Kremlin isn't just a symbol, it's the very heart of Russia's power, history, and mystery. Built in 1156 as a wooden fort, it was transformed in the 15th century by Ivan the Great into a towering stone fortress, blending Russian tradition with Italian Renaissance design. Today, its red walls and 20 towers enclose a city within a city, home to golden-domed cathedrals, royal palaces, and ancient secrets. At its center lies Cathedral Square, spiritual home of Russia's rulers. Here, czars were crowned in the Assumption Cathedral, buried in the Archangel Cathedral, and baptized in the Annunciation Cathedral. Each one holds centuries of sacred art, gold icons, and whispered prayers of the empire. The Grand Kremlin Palace, once the residence of czars, still hosts presidential ceremonies. Hidden behind it is the mysterious Terem Palace, sealed from public view. And nearby stand two enormous symbols, the Tsar Cannon and the Tsar Bell, both record breakers in size and yet never used. During the Soviet era, the Kremlin became the command center of the USSR. Stalin ruled from inside. Lenin moved the capital here, and today it remains the official residence of the Russian president. Tourists can see parts of the Kremlin, but most of it is still guarded, still secret, still powerful. It's more than a landmark. It's a living symbol of Russia's past, present, and future. Red Square, Moscow's beating heart. Red Square, it's not just a place. It's a stage where Russian history has unfolded for centuries. Located right next to the Kremlin, Red Square began as a simple marketplace in the late 1400s. Merchants sold goods, Crowds gathered and royal announcements were made here. But over time, it became the national stage, the site of coronations, parades, protests, and revolutions. The name red doesn't come from communism or the color of the bricks. In Old Russian, Krasnaya meant beautiful. And this square truly is. At one end stands St. Basil's Cathedral with its colorful onion domes, a symbol of Russia itself. On the other side, the massive State Historical Museum, guarding centuries of artifacts. Along the Kremlin wall lies Lenin's mausoleum, where the embalmed body of the Soviet leader still rests, drawing thousands of visitors each year. During the Soviet era, Red Square hosted military parades watched by millions, tanks, missiles, and marching soldiers, all symbolizing the power of the state. Today, it remains the center of national celebrations, public gatherings, and international attention. Red Square has seen it all, from medieval merchants to modern protests. It's more than Moscow's central plaza. It's the beating heart of Russia, proud, iconic, and eternal. Unique facts you didn't know. Moscow has the deepest metro station in Russia, Park Pobedi, 84 meters underground. The Tsar Bell and Tsar Cannon in the Kremlin were never used. Monuments to ambition. Every day, over 9 million people use the metro, more than London and New York combined. Moscow has a statue of Peter the Great, so tall it's among the world's largest. In winter, temperatures drop to -30 degrees Celsius. Yet, life never stops. Even street vendors keep selling tea. Moscow is not just a city, it's a survivor, a warrior, a mystery. For centuries, it has stood at the crossroads of history, rising from silence, falling into flames, and rising again. It has witnessed the birth of empires and their collapse. It watched the czars fall. It wore the iron mask of communism. It embraced capitalism, not with ease, but with strength. Moscow has been invaded, bombed, burned to the ground, and yet it never disappeared. From the ashes of war, it rebuilt. From the cold shadows of the Soviet Union, it emerged bold, stronger, louder, unshaken. Its streets hold echoes of revolutions. Its stones carry the weight of legends. Its towers, silent watchers over centuries of change. Moscow has been feared. It has been admired. But never, ever ignored. Because Moscow is not just buildings and borders, it is an idea, a force, a symbol of resilience. If cities had souls, Moscow's would be made of iron, fire, and unbreakable will. Love stories like this one? Craving more untold history from the world's most powerful cities? Subscribe, like, and join us as we explore the past, one legendary place at a time.